Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. It was inspired by a swap I received from Karen Gilchrist at Telford back in April. And I really liked her idea here of the lines in the corners. I thought it's another small detail that adds an awful lot to a card. So that's what I'm going to show you how I did mine. I'm going to change the colour scheme as always. Today I'm going to use pink Pirouette. So the card pieces that you're going to need. The card base is 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4, scored and folded at 4 1/8. That is 21 centimetres by 14.5, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. A piece of pink Pirouette, and that measures 4 inches by 5 5/8, or 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. A piece of our Shimmery white paper. This is a paper that has a very, very slight shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's very, very faint, but again, it's another of those things. It adds quite a bit to a card, and this measures 3 5/8 square, so that's down there, which is 9.25 by 9.25. Another piece of basic black, and that measures 1 1/4 inches by 2 7/8, which is 3.25 by 7.25 centimetres. And then another piece of our Shimmery white, and this measures 1 1/8 by 2 3/4 inches, which is 3 centimetres by 7 centimetres. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the lines on my card first. The reason I'm going to do that is because it gives an idea of positioning when I want to do my flower. I was hunting around for something to use that I could actually draw around. I have no idea why I have one of these in my stash, but I have one of these. A set square, and this has worked absolutely brilliant. Anything that you have that has quite a rigid corner would be fine. If you happen to have a set square lying around, that would do brilliantly too. Now I'm going to use, this is a 0.5 fine line pen. I did try using my marker pen, but I'm afraid that's getting a little bit past its best, and it wasn't drawing an absolutely brilliant line for me. I think I need to buy a new one. Right, so what I did was I just eyeballed this to line up so that that strip of Shimmery white paper I can see down there is equal all the way, and that is equal all the way, so that it's not an angle or anything. So what I did was, once I was happy that that was in place, I drew round the top there. One thing that you really need to bear in mind is, as you come along here and round the corner, don't go too fast, because it's very easy just to spin off. And the other thing is, try not to stop, because when you stop you do get like a full stop on it. Let me show you this one. If that there, you can see it on that bit there. You can see where I stopped on that. Okay, so that's what happens. It's not totally avoidable. It's just something to bear in mind will happen. And again, I just eyeball the size I'm going to do. I can't use the measurements that are on here, because one side's inches and one side's centimetres. And I just look around, draw my line, and then I pull my set square down, and I try and make it so that the gap on both sides here looks about equal. Now, bearing in mind, whatever gap you see there, you're not going to finish up with that gap by the time you've drawn your second line, because obviously your line is going to take up space. And what I do is I make it so that it just comes down longer than that one. You could do it so that the inside line was smaller. You could do it that this side, both of these were smaller than that side, or any kind of variation like that. I'm going to stick to this. It's probably a different size, but I'm just coming up round the corner, trying not to stop, keep going, and that looks about the same. Now that I've moved this away, I can see that that's quite a bit longer than that, but I'm leaving it. I'm not going to go back and try and change that. So now I'm going back to this side. In fact, you could do 4 sides, I suppose, on this. With this image, there's obviously enough room for it. So let me see. I'm going to try going for the same size again, making sure that that looks the same width all the way down, and that looks all the same width as well. Don't rely on just trying to make sure that that and that is the same. Check it down here as well, because that's a much better guide for you. Now again, I'm going to try and guess so that I am doing the same length either side. And I left my pen there a bit too long while I was talking, and it's finished up with one of those little stop marks. Now I've pulled it down again. I think that looks about the same gap as I had before. And now I'm going to draw around, coming carefully around the corner and then down about the same distance again. If anything, that looks a bit longer than that side, like that one. But that's fine. I'm really not going to get myself in a state worrying about that. Now, once you've done this, you can have your square either side. It really doesn't matter. As I've done that one that way, I'm going to change it around here, just to show that it really doesn't matter. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my image, and I'm using our black archival ink. Now the length of this rubber stamp, I need that curvy bit at the top. Let me see if without the sun lamps shining on it. See, there's a little bump at the top there. That just about comes off the top here, and the bottom here will come off at the bottom here. So it looks as if it's going to be too big for the paper, but it isn't. It fits in absolutely spot on. I'm going to have to bring this down to me, otherwise I'm going to put my head in the camera. So I'm just making sure that I've got it lined up equally both sides. A little bit at the bottom is coming over, a little bit at the top is going over. Now I've done that, let's move it up. Okay. In fact, if anything, it looks as if I'm very slightly over this side because I don't have as much paper showing as that side, but I'm not going to worry about that either. After all, as much as I go for as much perfection as possible, it is handmade and I'm not going to get perfection. Right, so what I'm going to use is the pink Pirouette ink, and I'm going to use one of our blender pens, and I'm just squeezing the ink into the lid, and there we go, that's nice and juicy there. And I'm just going to make sure that I cleaned my pen last time I put it away, and all I do is I start painting at the top of a flower, so it's all nice and dark pink there, and then gradually work towards the middle so that it's getting lighter and lighter. That is all I do as far as shading is concerned. And then once I've done that bit, I will go on to the next one, and I just keep working my way all around like that. As you can see, it just gets lighter and lighter the lower down that I come. So then for this piece, I will just do the dark piece again and then come lighter. Now that is too much of a difference there for my liking. Let me show you, I don't know if you can see that far down. Where that one there is, no, that one there is the dark piece. It's too much of a line there for me. So I'm going to close that gap up a bit. So I've inked up my pen. So did it gradually, brought it down. Same here, dark at the top, bring it down. This one, dark at the top, and just gradually work it down. See, that finishes up nicely when you do it like that. And I carry on doing all the way round. I have got one over there that I've already completed, but I just wanted to show you how I do my shading. I'm not the best painter when it comes to card making, but I do think that my flowers finish up looking nice. I probably wouldn't win any prizes for my painting, but there we go, I can live with that. Alright, so you can see how this is all done. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to stop there with the pink. For the centre of the flowers I use Daffodil Delight, and again just squeeze the ink into the lid. And there's already quite a lot there, and make sure you clean your pen just by wiping it like that. But as you can see, I am actually turning. If you watch this, you see that I am actually turning the pen as I'm going. Just make sure I've got it clean all the way round. Now this I don't try for any kind of darkness. I just colour all the, I think they're called stamens, aren't they? Just colour all the stamens in. Okay, so that's nice and easy. There we go, so that's that. Again, clean the pen. That's that. And for the leaves, I've used Pear Pizzazz. The colour scheme on this one is Pool Party. I've forgotten to tell you the stamp set again as well, haven't I? That's becoming a bit of a habit at the moment. Right, so with the stem, I just start from the top and gradually work my way down. And I just accept that as my shading. And with the leaves, again, I go round the outside and then I just bring into the centre. I find for some reason these are easier to get the shading on. Not quite sure why. Whether it's I'm painting just a smaller area or not, I don't know. But definitely easier to do these. So let's do this one over here. Okay, so do around the outside. And just fill in the white bit. And then this one. Okay, so you can see the shading on that as well. Okay, so that's how I do my colouring. And then once I've finished colouring, I go over all of it with Wink of Stella. No, I don't think I did that on this one, did I? No, this is my finished one. That one I will finish up later, which is a bit silly because you're not going to see what it looks like. I said I'd change this round, didn't I? But you're not going to see that one finished anyway. Oh dear. Right, never mind, I will finish that one off and I'll post a photograph of it on my blog. So Wink of Stella, and nothing fancy here at all. I just paint all over everywhere, trying not to go outside the line, which is relatively easy. Right, let's turn it round. It's quite amazing difference this Wink of Stella does make. If you haven't tried it yet, if you do try it, you will be very pleasantly surprised. There we go. Can you see that? Yes. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay. So, before I go any further, I'm going to show you the stamp set that I've used. And this is called You've Got This. It's, if you get the clear, it comes in 2 boxes because that one really is like a background stamp. It's really quite big. Well, it is a background stamp. What I mean is you could use it as a background stamp for lots of other projects. But that's what I've been using. Okay, so what do I need to do next? I'm going to assemble my card. What I've forgotten is my black piece. I didn't tell you the black piece, did I? I told you the white piece, unless I've just lost it. I think I've got one over here. Okay. I'll find this out once I start editing my video. But there should also be a black piece, and that measures 3 5/8. In fact, I'll double check this when I'm doing it, but the black piece is 3 5/8 square and the white piece is 3.5 inches square. In centimetres, that's 9.25 centimetres square, and that is 9 centimetres square. I think what I've done previously, I think I gave you the measurements for that when I was doing this one. But whatever is on the screen is going to be the correct, and whatever's in the details below, because I always put the measurements and products down there as well. Whatever's there will be correct. So let me do this first. I'm using Tombow to put my card together. You can use whatever your preferred adhesive is. There we go, there's that. And then I'll put these two together. Oh, I know what I've forgotten to do. Fortunately, this is on a black card, so it's not going to be any real problem. But I've stamped over here with one of the stamps from Timeless Textures, which is this set here. I did it with this one. Normally I would have had to have just said, oh well, I'll leave it, but because I've got black here, it's not going to matter, it's not going to show if I go over the edges, so I am going to go back and do that. Good thing about making mistakes is it does show you what you can get away with. Right, so I stamp off. That's it, because I only want it very, very faint. And it doesn't need to be all over because the image is covering up a large part of the area. So what I do is I do all round the edge first, and then I just look at how far this is going to come down, so just across here, and that should cover just about everything. Okay. So ideally do that bit before you put your card together. Now let's put that on. You may want to put this piece on using dimensionals. In fact, yes, let's use dimensionals. The other one, this one I've done flat. So what I'll do is one in each corner and one in the centre. So again, I just eyeball that. Try and make sure that the gap here is the same as all the way round and that it's straight. Yes, that's good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is from Sassy Salutations, and I think that's about the only thing that I've used so far that's on the retiring list. I am sorry to see this go, I really do like this. And what I've done is I've designed this piece of paper to be the right size for the sentiment, because I find this so easy to line up as long as I do it up the right way. Okay, so this will fit on. Let me bring it down because I don't want to get my head in the way. So there we go. So easy. Right, so I'm going to adhere that. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put the two together with Tombow, and then I'll put this on with dimensionals like I did the image. There we go, that's that bit. Dimensionals. Now, how should we do these? I always feel that this is a little bit overkill. In fact, just for speed, I'm going to. Normally what I would do is I would take one of these and cut it in half. Half there, half there. Unfortunately, I don't have a ribbon in pink Pirouette that's suitable for this card, so I am using a retired one, In fact, I'm using the same one that I used for the pink ribbon lacing card. Don't know if you've watched that one, but I didn't have suitable ribbon for that, for my pink pirouette, so I used this one, which is here. I can't remember, I think this was called Regal Rose, but I think that goes okay with this, doesn't it? So what I do is I do a bunny ears bow, which, if you don't know what this is, it's, you make one bunny ear like that, make sure the tail's coming down towards you, another bunny ear like that, so that this tail is coming towards you. So those two that are the fold in the middle, make them go together. And then when you fold them in, you'll find that they will spin, and if you let them go without letting them spin right the way out, they go so that the fold is, no, don't do this to me. Oh. Okay, let's try that again. Tail towards me, and then the two inside loops together. Fold it. Why is this difficult? Why are you playing me up? Now you've folded that, haven't you? Okay, let's try that again. Take it slowly, then you will be fine. Right, fold. Have you done it? Oh, that's it. There we go. I don't know what I did wrong first time. So I'm just going to have my bow there. My scissors. I'm sure I remember to bring everything with me this time. And I'm just going to pop that onto my card using a glue dot. Let's make this really nice and small. There we go. And the glue dots are here. I'm just going to pop that onto there. And then pop that right there. In fact, I'm going to shorten that bow as well, because I don't like tails as long as that. That's better. There we go. So there we go, that's today's card. I hope you like it. I did do one other colour, which I wasn't very happy with, but I'll show you anyway. And that was Delightful Dijon. I felt that it came up too dark. I personally don't like colours, but dark colours rather, but there are lots of people do, so maybe somebody out there is liking that. But there you go. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'm always happy to help. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you'd like to purchase any of the products I featured here, apart from the ribbons, they're all retired, I'm afraid, please click on the 24/7 link in the box below, and that'll take you straight to my Stampin' Up shop. And finally, I will be putting all the measurements and the products, the details on the screen, but if you can't see them on the device that you're watching the video on, please check the box below, because I'll also put all the details down there as well, so you've got everything all nice and handy. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.